Hey everybody, it's Britt from Britt's Bits here, bringing you another video. Today is Exodus 5. So I read a chapter every day in the Bible and then I write notes about what I got from it. So today's chapter 5, and so I'm a little casual today. It's been a long day. I was out trying to get my laptop fixed, but I love this sweatshirt that I have on. It's an Embrace Grace sweatshirt. It says, "Get your hopes up." So they do a wonderful, wonderful ministry of helping single moms and helping esteem them and giving them the confidence to single parents. So I do appreciate the work that they do. Plus, I love the message, and I would like to get my hopes up. So I hope you do too. So what did I get out of Exodus 5? I'm sorry, I'm a little wonky here today. Ooh, that was crazy, huh? So what did I get out of Exodus 5? My first question I ask myself is, where do I find peace in these verses? When we know the Lord, we know where to go if we want to know what to do. The directions are right there. The best way can be made known to us in prayer and in His Word. Simple, right? For people who do not know the Lord, they rely on their own intelligence and the wisdom of others. They wrestle with things and get all upset over decisions. But that's them, right? Right? When we know the truth and know where it is, and we fail to seek it, or we fail to trust in what it says, we are acting in unbelief. Yeah. We are in rebellion. We know better. We are not Pharaoh making decisions on ego and self-serving motives. We are the children of God, right? We are the children of God who should draw near to their Father in obedience and respect to seek His will and His direction. The best way is His way. Psalm 25, 4 through 5, Psalm 25, 8 through 9, and Proverbs 5 and 6. So when we act out in rebellion of what we know, or we don't pray, we're really just acting like an unbeliever, because we're just doing all the same things that my hair is like all messed up today, guys. I don't know. We're just doing the things that they do, right? So that doesn't make any sense, does it? Second question I ask myself, where is God in these verses? Not so much where is He geographically, but what is His character? What have I noted about His character in these verses? And I wrote, Pharaoh thought he was God. The Egyptians believed that Pharaoh was a descendant of their sun god, Ra. So the propensity to act in a godlike way was there, and you can imagine how that went. So Pharaoh had no qualms at all about being harsh with the Israelites, because he thought that he had ultimate power, right? He wasn't concerned about anyone else. He didn't care if what he was proposing would break them. He wanted what he wanted, and that was the end of that. The idea that they would stop obeying him and go to worship their God was appalling to him, wasn't it, right? But our God had other plans, and Pharaoh would come to find out that he was no match for the almighty, all-powerful I Am. Sometimes people can bluster in our lives like Pharaoh did here. But we serve a God who can do anything, and that is worth remembering in those moments. Proverbs 19:21, Matthew 6:9 through 10, Romans 11:33 through 34. And my third question I ask myself is, where is Jesus in these passages? Because He's in every chapter of the Bible. I hope you know that. Our Jesus is our redemption. Sometimes, and maybe oftentimes, when Jesus moves in us, things can seem to get worse instead of better. Have you ever been there? I have. I'd be like, okay, I thought I was asking for help. It can feel like even Jesus Himself is against us. Sometimes things get desperate, but He's never against us, right? We know that. I hope you know that. But hold fast. Like Pharaoh, the enemy is not interested in what is happening in God's kingdom coming to fruition. And Jesus made it possible for us to experience His presence and to have citizenship in heaven. When God moves, He upsets the plans of the enemy. We have to expect opposition in times of the great moving of God's will in our lives, right? There's opposition. But Jesus is right, and right there and beside us through it all. God's will seemed to be stomped out with Jesus' crucifixion. It seemed like the enemy won until Sunday came, right? Matthew 4, 1 through 11, Matthew 16, 23, and Matthew 12, 24. What verse stood out the most today was Exodus 5, 22 through 23. So Moses returned to the Lord and said, Lord, why have you brought trouble on this people? What is it that you have sent to me? For since I came to Pharaoh to speak in your name, he has done evil to this people, neither have you delivered your people at all. Right? We want to hey, I'm praying here, and you're not, what's happening? Things are getting worse. Sorry, I keep playing with my ear. What did I observe about the verses in light of the text, right? Moses did exactly as he was told, but it did not go as he expected at all. And he was confused. And that happens sometimes. He did not go to God in anger or confront God. He asked earnestly, why is this happening? I did what you said. And it's okay to ask God questions when we are confused or frustrated by what is happening. It's okay to ask him things and to want reassurance from him. What wanders in the direction of disbelief is confronting God or accusing him of not doing what he said, or telling him he really isn't good. When it gets hard to follow his will and expect that it will, we can lean into him by asking questions. Ask questions. Don't just not pray when you feel like you're being oppressed. Ask him questions. Seek his comfort in following his will. Like Moses, we are all perfectly, what did I say here? I don't know. Perfectly logical, and signs of a desire for deeper independence and intimacy with him. It remains being comforted by him when nothing makes any sense, right? Psalm 37:23, James 1:5, and Isaiah 30:21. And my last question is, what is my prayer for today? Lord, help me to walk in your way and to follow your direction, no matter what the directions look like on the surface. My desire is for what you desire for my life, not some earthly ideal, what me or any other person thinks, just you, Lord, right? So what is God's will for my life? Psalm 37:23 through 24, James 1:5 through 8, and Matthew 7:7 through 11. So I hope you will take that into consideration. If you're going through something really hard and it doesn't make any sense, and you're praying and you feel like he can't hear you, I would really encourage you to read this chapter, first of all. But I would say maybe your prayers ought to be in the form of questions and let him answer them for you. I hope you have a great night. Be blessed.